We had to deal with productions in Singapore, productions in New Zealand.
We pushed 10 terabytes. I was hospitalized for like half of the shoot.
We already had so many challenges thrown in our way.
10 days of shoot in Singapore, 5 days in New Zealand.
We didn't die. Just sunk in that after 2 years, this is happening.
Mother Nature decides to pour. Scripts were coming out. So Vin, myself, all were looking at it from story already. Roz, our DP, we were talking about it visually. It felt like, we should take the easy way out. Lo and behold, we landed on shooting on the Ari. The Ari Alexa.
I almost fainted when they told me they wanted to shoot on the Ari. I'm like, oh my god.
Yes.
I think the biggest challenge for me was trying to manage the budgets. Productions in Singapore, productions in New Zealand, make the numbers work, and everything was just crazy.
We were also racing against that ticking clock of COVID. Still looming, something could happen, we could go into lockdown. There were a lot of moving parts, I think, this time around. We had to pipeline also, like when we were doing this on a daily level, how much of data we were getting, and we had to work a post system also. Vin jumped on like, okay, how was post going to manage it? Wrangling, receiving.
From like the production perspective, this project was already like a year and a half underway. We had to take care of that footage. We pushed 10 terabytes, I think, in total. We did have a lot of pre-production meetings concerning post, how we were going to go about doing that and like covering all bases. We didn't die. We managed to store all the data and back it up.
Bring the whole team together. We worked with so many people that we've worked with before. Everyone sort of knew each other. It was like a big production family on set. We could just talk to each other. We just get it immediately. It was nice.
We had scenes between Kai and Ray, when they're playing the father-daughter characters and all that, and Ray and Lisa, like between the parents.
I remember watching the monitor and I really felt like, oh shit, it's sunk in that like finally, after 2 years, this is happening, and everyone was just watching it and so into the scene. It was like really quiet. It was so emotionally like charged and everything that I started to cry watching it.
Once we're done with the Singapore leg, phew, great, but without New Zealand, we did not have a show, and that was so scary, and New Zealand shoot came out.
Me and Jifen came to the office at like 2 a.m. switched on our computers and sat down. And then on the other side in New Zealand, they were starting the shoot and all, so we had to remote direct for 5 days on New Zealand time from here in Singapore, so we were practically in New Zealand.
Yeah. We're jet lagged without...
Our soul was there. Jet lagged without the airplane, right? Without the fun.
Yeah. The moment New Zealand would turn on their feed and we would see the footage being streamed in, we were like energized, we were like, oh, here we go. We had footage streaming in, we had Zoom calls going in to talk to people, we had WhatsApp. People on WhatsApp, it's a typical maybe kiasu Singaporean producer.
Just in case.
There was a certain level of trust because while footage streams in, it's not streaming in real time. The data was just too massive to actually upload and download. Yeah, it's daily.
So I think because we couldn't see it real time, that small gap between the Singapore shoot and New Zealand shoot, I was kind of concerned about getting a look out or a vibe out of how the edit's gonna go.
Vin was editing and rushing, getting the dailies all done. We needed things that we could share with Evander on his side, and he really took to that when we had those co-actor scenes ready, and then we streamed that to the New Zealand feed, so he knew what at least it felt like and he would perform, and it really brought another layer and a level to the performance and the realism of them being here.
The conversations between Aisha and Ari, the first time they were put together, they felt so hollow. And you don't even know if they're gonna work once we get Ari's footage and stuff. So it's kind of working backwards. It's we had to present something in post first and then go backwards towards cam and then get it back later on. Because the both of them, Ari and Aisha, they are separated. So to have that through the production process also, I think was some foreshadowing done by the universe. In hindsight, I feel like it went smoothly. Only like at the point of like doing it and like receiving the New Zealand footage, which was FedExed over to us, and then went to Japan by some chance.
Yeah.
Came back to us.
Even the footage got like went to Japan.
Yeah.
There were these little moments, like breaking the whole pandemic barrier and using technology. I was so anxious about could I direct a performance remotely. Again, like to what Audrey said, it was a testament to our production family coming and making it happen right. I think the ensemble that we finally worked with, they were such a joy. I think the energies that they brought, they were a highlight.
Another highlight actually was the first time that I was on set every day of the whole production in Singapore, because I normally don't come on set. But for this one, we were a bit short-handed, so I had to be on set. And it was a fun experience.
Our reps, both in Singapore and in New Zealand, the energy from the rep is like a family party. Like, no one wanted to go home. Everyone stuck around to eat food and like, you could feel like everyone was super proud of this project. So that was also like a highlight for me.